Hey, I'm back. God, I. Hallelujah. God, I still need to make a door. But, yeah, I'm here. It's fun. I'm having a great time already. Anyways, um, yeah, I wasn't here for like a week. More than that, 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. I don't know. But and I didn't do any designing in the process, which is a bad thing. But yeah, for a little while, I was doing really well. I was waking up early, doing stuff in the morning. I think I was streaming and then I was doing Uber at night. And for a while, I was doing that and I'd get dead tired late at night, right before I started driving on the road. Not a good thing. If you've ever driven, hold on. So, before I get into the rambling, I gotta find me um something to sketch. Oh, that's a here. Um, you get to look at all the manufacturing stuff that I was looking at. Yay! All right. What do I want to? Ooh, I'll do it. I was looking at. I was thinking of doing like a snowboard design thing. So, um, I gotta find a couple. I think two different perspectives of a snowboard. Um, Bindings. Yeah. Okay. That one's a pretty interesting one. Could probably use that one. Yeah, it's a big picture. And then maybe from the side. No, I want to do it from like kind of like the back edge. No. Oh, that's interesting. Hmm. Nah. Up down. I want it from the side so that I can kind of use that as a guide for my design. All right. I wonder if I do this. If I put a space, maybe there's. Nope. Something. Maybe the for sale pictures. Gosh darn it. Like the images, they complete. Uh, I need basically just a little bit, just this from the back edge, but it seems like there's only. Great. Why are there boats? Hmm. Well, I can only find one picture that's suitable. Kind of sucks. Maybe I can rotate one. Like in my mind. In my mind. This can work. That can work. All right. That'll have to do. Yeah, or unless I kind of want to find something that's actually good. Something that. Disregard my weird sounds. All right, all right, that can work. All right, so while I kind of set this up, what was I talking about? I was talking about, oh yeah, like I don't know, a couple weeks ago, when I was, I can't type and talk at the same time. Backside. And then word front. Okay. A couple weeks ago when I was doing this more consistently, which I gotta say, I love doing any sort of design, and this is kind of like, you know, a creative aspect that I can kind of follow a little further, can follow it in its own way. So I like doing this, I like doing design, so I didn't stop because I hated it or it got too hard. I ran out of energy. So I would wake up, I would do stuff in the morning, like general whatever I needed to do. Maybe it was editing videos or something like that, or managing more of this stuff. Then I would stream, and then I would do Uber. As of right now, I kind of switched those, and it's kind of funny. Right around that time when I was planning on switching, all the when I was planning on switching, when I did Uber and when I did this, that's when like my mind kind of broke a little bit, because I couldn't really get a good understanding of why I had like no energy. And part of me thinks that like whenever I get mildly depressed, a lot of my energy just gets sucked away. So I thought for a while that like, maybe I'm just mildly depressed all the time. It's like partly true, but the other fact is that I wasn't eating enough, and that's like such a simple solution you'd think, but like no. Turns out I just need either I'll eat on like at the set points in my day, like when I wake up or after I run when I wake up. Then before now in my schedule, before I do Uber and then before I do streaming, I'll eat there during those points in time. But if I get hungry or tired or mildly tired, I can kind of feel it kind of setting in. I need to eat something. I always need to have something with me to eat. And like, I don't want to rely on any like junk food or anything like that. So I've been taking a lot of precedence in preparing things beforehand. And my God, I can go through a day like it's nothing. And it's so surprising to me a lot of times because I don't know, I'm just so used to my old way of doing things, my old schedule, my old whatever. That it's just I don't know, it's weird, it's surprising in that way. So now that I kind of figured it out, kind of partly. I mean, not everything's perfect. There's that. But now that I kind of figured out that aspect of my life, I can now add in everything else, which will kind of even things out. I'm still not the greatest at waking up early, and that sucks because I need to. Anyway, I feel like everyone needs to. Waking up early is fun when you can wake up early like consistently, but hold on just a moment. Need to find it. Yeah, that's good. And up here. All right. Yep. That's pretty all right. It's a little big. I might move it in. Yeah, that works. All right. Anyways, I am gonna do a little bit of warm up. I'm not gonna like spend a whole lot of time on it because I want to look at this snowboard design. Anyways, and I'm working with like full sheets of paper now, because why not? It's just easier. I feel like. I just gotta remember where exactly my framing is on this camera. This camera. Okay. Excuse me. Anyways, well now I'm like, in terms of, okay, so it's like right around there. Yeah, so I have more energy throughout the day. Like as of right now, I'd be dead tired. I would be like, I'm dying, can't be doing some drawing. No, but yeah, I'm finally like kind of. Those are a little curvy. Kind of more in control of my energy levels, which is great. Um, so now I just have to work on waking up a little earlier because today I woke up at 1 p.m., which I don't get because I went to sleep at like 9 last night. Then again, it was one of those like those sleeps where it's like I went to sleep because I was feeling annoyed at things, and that generally doesn't get me to um, wake up at the right time. Those like kind of depressive sleeps are not the greatest. It's just like a kind of give up thing where it's like I don't feel great right now mentally, so I'm just gonna fall asleep. Because what else can I do? Then again, I didn't really have a whole lot to do it that night, so it kind of makes sense why what happened. But I'm still kind of annoyed that I wasn't able to wake up on time. One of my all three of my alarms didn't go off, so there's that. But yeah, it's kind of nice, kind of reining in a little bit more on your life, just figuring out how you work, figuring out how things are supposed to feel so that you can tell when things aren't going right. It's a nice feeling. Oh yeah, commercial, as the title says. Um, so I've been. I don't like living here. Help me. Living with your parents is like outside of you've graduated, blah blah blah. Like having a place to not have to worry about necessarily having a large amount of income. Like my parents let me stay here for free, more or less. I don't have to pay rent, food, insurance, any insurance. What else do I have not have to do? A lot of ooh, that was nice. Um, I think I hold on. Financing. I don't have to pay rent, food, insurance, phone bill. I still have to do taxes, but those are a little easier for me. I like doing taxes. I'm one of those weird people. There it is. Um, but yeah, I think a lot of people think, oh, living with your parents, that's gotta, you don't have any, you can't bring any women over. It's like, that's not my main concern. Um, it's mostly just the fact that, like, I don't really mesh well with my parents. Like, well, we're both me and my mom, and my mom is like my mom has the pants in the relationship, and my dad is the one who just kind of follows everything she says. Even though I could never say that to his face because he'd be like, "Oh no, I do shit too. I work." It's like, yeah, you exclude yourself in a room for half the day, and then you get taken out on a leash on a walk with my mother whenever Yeah, sure, okay, Dad, but yeah, my mom is like the main. Oh, those are curvy. Hold on, let me focus for a bit. Okay, I'm gonna redo both of those. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, both me and my mom are like the same personality, more or less. Yeah, I have like the almost zen-like nature that my dad has. Just like, yeah, just, as long as you're happy, everything's fine, which is cool. But anyways, the personalities that clash the most are me and my mom, and we have the same personality. So we're both very much like want to do things on our own and don't really like people telling us what's what. I can listen to directions and everything, but if you're gonna like try to define my sense of self for me, no. We just don't really get along very well. Um, so like, yeah, I don't have to pay for a whole lot of things. I don't have to worry. My worries are pretty minimal, but I hate it. I hate it. Why was I talking about how much I hate living here? Oh, yeah, it was a part of a bigger thing, I guess. That like I just want to live somewhere else right now, but I fear that if I move out and I move somewhere, like doing Uber can definitely like if I work 6 days a week, 6 days a week at $5, 5 hours a day, um, working at the right times, which is only 35 hours a week. It's not that much. Um, I can. That's about like I can make about $50,000 a year, maybe even more. But it's not the greatest job because I have to, in order to make that. Well, I guess I can make about $48,000 a year without working holidays. But if you work holidays, generally you get about five to $1,000 more each holiday. So what are the major holidays here? We got Halloween coming up, and then we got Thanksgiving is weird. Thanksgiving's one of those ones where you can't really make a whole lot. No, I guess you can. Yeah, I was thinking people usually stay in one place with Thanksgiving, but there are people who move around. Anyways, to Christmas, which is a national holiday, which that's fucked up. It, it is. Um, Christmas, New Year's, big one. Oh god, yeah. New Year's, then Valentine's Day, beginning and end of spring break is kind of like one. Um, I think that's it. Six. So I can make $48,000 a year plus $6,000, but that means I have to be working on the holidays, and I don't get to hang out with people. I don't. It's really weird. I don't get the a normal life. So yes, while I could live on my own, it's not a good thing for my mental stability, I feel like. But I feel like if I, you know, try to make streaming a big thing, which the likelihood of that is pretty minimal. Anyways, even if I try and succeed in some way, it would be kind of similar. I don't know. It could be more fun, I think. Anyways, I'm scared. I have the conundrum of I really do not like living here. Plus, if I live elsewhere doing a job that's not design focused, it might ruin me. So it definitely is not the greatest thing in the world. Like as of right now, the best thing to do, the best thing to want to do ideally, is to work at a company where I can advance my design skills, but not really, I guess, pay attention to it full time. To work when I'm there, but to do other things when I'm not. And I don't really have that freedom right now. I have the freedom to do whatever I want if I'm including streaming in like kind of a job centered focus. Yeah. I need a door. I need a door. Then again, if I get a door, then my parents should just yell louder and open it anyways, because why not? Because I live here and I don't have rights. Anyways, I don't really know what will happen first, if like I will hate living here and just end up moving out because of that, or what. I don't know. Conundrum to say the least, but yeah, I don't know. I have this fear that I'll not really, if I don't find something to satisfy my design needs, now, that I'll just lose a lot of my skills over time. And that's not a good thing to think about. I guess that's part of the reason why like, I don't know. I think I'm like existentially depressed right now, so I'm not like I can get up and like go do things, and I can have a nice time today. When I think about the future and like what's currently happening, it's just feels so hopeless because it doesn't seem like there's any like right answer. I gotta do from that direction. So yeah, it doesn't look great right now, but you know what I can do? I can do this. I can do sketching. Anyways, making a commercial. One of the things I kind of figured out is that, so in my Uber car vehicle thing, I have this tablet that was sent to me by a company, and the company says that, it displays like a different like advertisements and everything to the person, and they can mute the screen or whatever, but it will always be running. And they give you, listen to this, they give you 1 point for every ride that you pick up, and half a point extra, an extra half a point when someone uses the device while they're in transit. And you'd think like, that doesn't seem like a whole lot. They probably, after 1 point kind of would correspond to like 50 cents or maybe even $1. No, you have to get 250 points to get $25. So each point is about a cent. Like, what? I thought like, I would rack up points and get maybe like up to $100 a month. It's looking to be more like $25 a month is what would actually happen, based off of how many people actually interact with it. Most people just mute it and don't want to deal with it, and I understand that notion. Anyways, I was kind of looking at some other things on like how to make money, like whether it be selling things or selling umbrellas or snacks or something like that. And a good thing that would be interesting to do, would be to find services that have like promotional things, like when you invite people to the platform. So there we go. All right. I think Rakuten, I saw it's like a shopping thing. It's kind of like Honey, except you get money instead of get money off. You get money from it or something like that. And so you like spend $30 or something like that in the first time that you receive it, and therefore the person who gave you the code, you and them both get $30 or something like that. So you basically cancel out your first purchase, which is cool, I guess. Yeah, I mean, like, you get something $30 and up for free, essentially, which is a good idea for marketing. But yeah, I would essentially think that, and then also my credit card company is like, if you invite someone, you both get $100. Which, honestly, if I just bought a tablet and they cost, like, tablets cost, you can get a new Amazon tablet for $80 plus like a mount for like 15. If I just end up advertising my own stuff on there, I could potentially make, like, even one person getting, using the app Rakuten and, buying $30 worth of something. I get more money in a month. One person using that, more money in a month than I currently do with the current, like, sponsorship that I get. So, yeah, I feel like that would be a really good idea. Just start with it. But, so I was thinking, like, oh yeah, that'd be great. Just, make a commercial for Rakuten with my code and get some additional income from that. Well, I was also thinking is that I could advertise this stream. I could advertise this on, like, make a mini commercial for all of this, and edit it into a video, and then I could be advertising this stream to a larger audience. It's like, as of right now, my wow, I'm doing like a circle around here. That's weird. All right, time to continue more. What do I want to do now? Maybe I'll do this. Yeah, I'm gonna do that in a bigger. There we go. Anyways, no. There we go. I could make a commercial for this and advertise this, and I think that would just be so cool, because, like, for most beginning streamers or whatever you're trying to do on here, the idea is that you play games, video games usually, and then every so often you'll just kind of like hint that, like, oh, I'm streaming if you want to check it out, or if you want to play more on the stream with someone, you can do that. No one's doing what I'm doing. There's like no one's doing this. It's like, either it's a bad idea, sure, could be, or simply no one's doing it. No one's really thought about it before. And I'd rather go with the second one because it makes me feel better. But the issue with that is that there's no one to be around in that regard. Like, sure, I could invite other designers to do anything. I don't really know many other industrial designers. So, like, my only options are to, post videos that I make from this on sort of like Facebook groups that are design oriented for designers, or for people who like cool designs. Is maybe go on Pinterest as well. But to invite, like, the general public to watch something like this, like, hey, to watch it while you're working, or to just look at cool things that are being designed before your very eyes, I need to find a platform at which to invite the general public to want to watch it. And what better than while I'm driving around doing Uber, tell someone about, what I'm doing without having to distract myself. And it seems, while it is a commercial, it seems more genuine than me just going out and saying, hey, or like bothering someone on an Uber ride, who would otherwise just want to be on their phone. Like, I can just kind of hint it at them, like, hey, I'm doing this. Care to watch? Care to join? Oh God. Hit. All right. No. I need to go this way, then maybe that way. That is not. That's the forbidden child. What was I trying to do? what happens when I do this? Well, that's an interesting box. Anyways. Alright, I did all the warm-up stuff that I normally do. Sounds great, doesn't it? That is the one downside of using giant paper. I went to the store to get more giant paper. Happy Leif Erikson Day, a derg. Alright. What are we doing? Oh, we're doing that one. Oh god. I don't know if you can see my face got right. I'm trying to get the same image up. Alright, so now we're gonna start with the snowboard. Yas. Okay. I'm tempted to not use the back sides of these, but I'm not made of money and I don't want to be buying these giant sheets. Just cause actually, you know, it'd be a good idea. More loud noises. Yes, of course. Oh, oh god. No. Alright, I guess that's tearing that way. Cool. Such a beautiful sound. Anyways. So now it's floating. And now you can kind of not really see the designs on the back. Not designs, warm-up sketches. Anywho. God, this perspective is giving me the shakes. I'm gonna... I guess I'll use pen on this. I was tempted not to use pen because I might screw up, but... why not? I think I'll have the paper like this, and then... oh, it's been like a little longer than I would want to have had for designed or like done. I did a little bit of sketching. In regards to designing and sketching for the time that I haven't really been trying to figure out my energy levels and everything. I did do a little bit of a sketch with gotta figure this spacing out first. I did a little sketch regarding snowboards because it's weird. I don't. So if I end up like stopping doing something, or like I get too anxious, or I feel like I get too anxious to do something or whatever, sure, I'll stop doing it for a given time or something like that. But there's a part of me that's just like, you need to design something. And that's not like, you know, a professor or like a motherly sense of like, you need to go do this now. It's more of like, it's this feeling that I've felt ever since I was a kid that, you know, I'm it's probably where my existential dread kind of comes from. But it's this crazy feeling that like I even if I was living in a situation that I wasn't able to design things freely, or like I had not enough time on my hands to really feel like I could do any sort of lasting design, my body would make me. It would be damn sure that I would be doing some sort of designing. I think this foot is a little too big. Yeah, it is, just slightly. Okay. But yeah, I can't not design something. You know, I can stop for a little bit, but there's a part of me that's like, this idea, it's really cool. My brain will be like, oh, it'll like wake me up and be like, this idea is really cool. You need to make it because no one else is. And it's like, yeah, it's fair enough. I get that reasoning. Yeah, no one else is doing it. it is a cool idea. Yeah, let's sketch it out. So yeah, I guess there is a part of me that thinks that if I, move somewhere or that's not working. There's a part of me that thinks that if I go somewhere or if I just put too much time doing Uber or something like that, that I wouldn't I'd leave too much time on the table and I wouldn't progress and I wouldn't do anything. And while yes, in my absence recently, I have lost a little bit of skill, or just not necessarily skill that I've been losing. I guess it's more of confidence. I've lost confidence. Um, there's always a part of me that will kind of make sure that I at least try to get started again. Mm. But yeah, so today doing this. No momentum. God. I love having this mute button. If you can't tell on don't have to go into my settings when my parents, you know, inevitably will yell down at me saying, "Oh, we gotta go do something," blah. Again with the whole I don't get to live my own life thing. I have to be doing something according to what they want, even though they want me to be happy and blah blah blah. It's less of a sense that I get that, I'm doing this for you, that no, you're just doing it for your own anxiety induced sense of, you know, what I should be doing in the world currently based off of who I am, blah blah blah, something like that. if you can tell any sort of like change in my demeanor as of right now, I really don't get along with my parents, and they piss me off constantly. They're some of the only people that can like just immediately fuel my hatred. This binding is not gonna look right. Just because I got super pissed off just now. Um, yeah. Yeah, that doesn't look right. Alright. Gotta do bindings in the future, I guess. Anywho. Yeah, I don't like them. Ooh, that needed to be wider. Like a lot wider. Like, yeah, maybe this wide. I don't know if you can not. Yeah, that's legible, I guess. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, if you could. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Anyways, in terms of. Hold on. Oh god, I hate it when that happens. Oh, I even took a giant breath in. I was gonna sneeze, and then it didn't, and then blah blah blah. I need to make this closer. There's a part of me that thinks that, if I move somewhere else, what if it doesn't work? What if I get really tight on cash or something like that? have to sell my body or something. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen next, and it's kind of terrifying. But gonna try to do what I'm want to do, I guess. It's not a good feeling not having like any security. Like I don't have any job. I don't have a job. I do have a job, but I don't have any job security. Like um with Uber, like the kind of fucked up thing is I could be accused. I could be accused of having, driving unsafely, which is like such a broad term. I can be accused of driving unsafely and lose my job. Like, I like Uber for what it could stand for, not for what it currently is. Ride sharing is not good right now. Never really has been. But, it could be so much more, but it isn't. So like I don't know, job security don't have a whole lot going for me right now except for I don't know this. That made it sound like I do not like this. No, it's more of like a I don't have a whole lot to my name. I don't really do a whole lot anyways, and yet I still have this. This kind of keeps me going. This is an outlet for my want and need to create. And yeah, it could be a good thing. Who knows? Oh god, I gotta do a difficult part, so just I gotta focus. Focus. Okay, so that goes basically up here. And then in. I want it to come out over here, basically. There. Yep. Alright. Good. And then this is gonna kind of go up that way. Yeah. Alright. Working with pen is like it's a little sketch sometimes. Sketch. It's kind of tricky because well, it can be nice because like you can get some really cool, interesting textures and lines from it, but like it can also kind of get annoying because you can't undo it. You just have to live with what's going on. If you can't tell, I do not make I don't make mistakes. No, I don't take risks because why would you? Right? If you can just live in cushiness, why wouldn't you? Well, I guess my current situation kind of explains like you could just live in cushiness. Yeah, this is technically cushiness. I'm in Wilmette. I'm in the nice area of town. I don't have to live with a lot of the issues that other people have to live with. But not everything is just simple, you know? God, kind of like I had one of my passengers today. She was oldish, not old, like old, but like older Italian woman who was like, see what those defund the police brats did is they made Chicago so terrible. Not the legislation have passed, but just like the simplicity of like everyone thinks that things are so stupendously simple when it really never is. Rarely are things as simple as we think they are. So yeah, that was I didn't. I just with that passenger, I was just like, defund the police. Yeah, yep, yeah, cool. All right. Whatever you think about that is what you think. There was not enough time. I wouldn't say I would have argued with her in the general sense of the word. I would have questioned her not her beliefs, but her reaching that point of her beliefs. I would like question like, oh well, how did you come to that conclusion, or like why do you think this corresponds to that directly? Um, but there wasn't enough time for that. I don't like for Uber. I don't like um getting into a conversation with someone unless there's enough time left. Um, it's just not usually worth it, I think. Um, yeah. Hmm. What was I thinking about? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the cushiness of Wilmet. Yeah, there's good things and there's bad things to what our situations are. Um, nothing's clear cut, which I feel like so many people want it to be, but it's just not possible, you know? It's something that kind of just, you have to understand what's the good, what's the bad, and make your decision. That's why I'm kind of like so, feel like I'm like so riled up lately, because, um, like I could, and as you know, my parents aren't evil or anything. They're not like, you must stay with us. We will be your benefactors forever. No, they want me to go out and get my own place and live my life, but like, because I think they also recognize that we don't live well together. um, but yeah, yeah. I don't know. It definitely would, help me out if I wanted to move somewhere else or move out and try to find my own way. Um, but so I already don't mesh with my parents. Me and my brother are very similar but different. Again, kind of like with me and my mom, or with I guess more me and my dad. Like we're similar but different. I tend to stand up for what I think more often, and I like to try to be able to say what I think as clearly as possible more often. But yeah, my brother is like my dad. Anyways, I don't really get around. Like me and my family are like, already, and my brother's thinking of or planning, in a week or two to move in. So there's gonna be even more excitement and more shit. um, so that like my brain is even more like being like, dude, you're gonna kill someone. Someone's gonna die, and it's not gonna be me. Um, and I wish I could say like, oh, someone's gonna get hurt in some way or whatever, and my parents are probably gonna be like, oh, that did not do that well. My parents are gonna be like, you need to figure this out, or we're gonna kick you out. It's like, so I'd rather, I know that talk or whatever is gonna be on the table. It's like, you need to get your shit together, aka follow exactly what we want and the type of behavior that we want to see from anyone in our home, because we get to control the behavior of the people in our house because we're the ones paying for everything. I'd rather just pay for things if that's what you wanted. Yeah, I don't like the. When I say I don't, I don't um, like my parents and kind of what they stand for. It's more along the lines of like, they're controlling just a little bit, and they're controlling in the way that like would be fine for a little kid, but I'm not a little kid, so you're manipulating me now because I'm an adult, which is even weirder of like a concept. Is more of just like manipulation is generally a no-no, no matter what. Like no matter if you're a kid or an adult or anything. But like, there are certain behaviors that you kind of have to, with little kids, or not little kids, just any sort of minors, that you have to compel them to do things that they don't want to do, like go to school. Um, it's like, you gotta go to school. Like that's just simple. You gotta, and then like sometimes when you're older, it's like you gotta make money. You know, you're living in this house. You gotta figure out how the economy works. Essentially, is what parents are saying. And so like yeah, there's a certain amount of like things that you kind of have to compel kids to do. But I feel like once you get to be a certain age or something like that, some of those types of ways that you kind of compel kids to do things, if you do that to anyone else later in life, that's not kosher. It's not something that's acceptable, you know? And I think that they're still using that kind of behaviors directed towards me. And I don't like it. I don't, no one likes being treated like a kid, I feel like. Um, that doesn't look right. That, let me compare it to my screen. Oh god, the angle's off by so much. This needs to actually be up here. This, I think, is, let me check that again. Is that the right angle? It's actually too far back, but the angle's right. So this actually needs to be shoved down and compressed a little bit because it's too far forward. I mean, if it was as far forward as it is here, like that stripe in terms of how close it is, it's here. I should have used that as a guide. Sorry, you can't see that. I just don't want it to be very visible. That stripe from that board there is right here, and you can tell there's a lot more space in between the binding and that stripe on here. Like this is the distance. This should be probably out to here. My bad. I guess I'll do another board because they're kind of simple. I'll still do the rear binding, but when I do the other board, I have to be clear on that. Oh, I just saw that. That binding is not that way. It's kind of like duck-feeted. How are they duck-feeted? Anyways, let me just... Oh, wow, that is tiny. If I'm gonna follow that, I'm gonna actually go this way. Yeah. Anywho, okay. All right. There we go. Kind of fixed it a little bit. You can't see. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess part of the reason why I'm not here all that often is lately is that I've just had that kind of like on my mind. Like I so desperately don't want to be here geographically. Because it's just, I feel like messing with a lot of my ability to think clearly. Because I feel like so much of my energy is being used to defend myself from my parents' rule, is what it feels like. And so, like oh god, I would totally get along with my parents if it was more of like a, you know, I visit them every so often. Yeah, we'd fun to be around each other. We don't work well with each other. Don't I can't live with them. I really can't. Um oh, okay, so it's hollow in the middle more. All right. a little too deep, but I can't really fix it. Oh god, I gotta go in and then I gotta go out. Oh god. Yeah. Okay. And then around that edge. That sucked. I fucked that up. I was getting ready to erase it. It's like, oh shit, I can't do that. Alright. So that looks pretty solid. Alright. Yeah. So there's a large part of me that just is kind of feels like I'm existentially not existential. Everything's existential. There's a large part of me that's just very conflicted, and it's not a good kind of conflict where it's like, once I figure this out, I will be a better person, which is a lot of the things that I think about. Is kind of just like, yeah, after I figure this out, I'll, it's something that I'll learn how to be nicer to people or something like that. But this, it's more of like a, if I make a decision here, I could either accelerate my career. I guess I think more on the wavelength of, instead of accelerating my career and like really make money. Like I'm not in a job where making this decision will, it could increase my yearly earnings, but I won't be doing more of what I want to do, or like, decreasing my yearly earnings or staying the same and not having the hope of accelerating my job field, but doing more of what I want to do. Like, I don't, at this point, I don't get to, have a job that's centered on what I want to do at all. And I guess one of the paths that I could take is, hold on, these lines are confusing the dick out of me. One of the paths that I can try to take is focusing more on getting like a desk job somewhere, which is a good thing. It's not all bad, but I haven't really been successful in doing it at this point anyways, so part of my brain is just saying, well, why, what would I be doing now that's different that could make me be more successful? And I really don't have an answer for that at this point in time, so it's kind of hard to want that for myself. Or I could take more of the path of do it yourself kind of stuff, because I've done that in the past. Before, when I was at a different university, I was told I needed to get a summer job, during the summer, just do it, and I couldn't, based off of when my college got out versus others, I couldn't secure a job because all of them had been taken by the people who got out earlier than I did in terms of the summer. So there was nothing that I could really do, and my parents were like, "Get a job, damn it!" And so I kind of just made my own, and I started a little small business that I could kind of control my own workflow. It was kind of around when Uber was starting up, I think. And I don't know if I was directly influenced by that, but it definitely could have at some point. Anyways, it was just something that I could do, and it wasn't easy per se, um, but it was something. But it's not easy either. Like being a person who does it yourself, being a do-it-yourself person is not an easy thing. Like everyone wants to be. I feel like not everyone. People see the value of do-it-yourself individuals, know that there's value in that because they can get things started and they can do things on their own, and there's this innate value of being a do-it-yourself kind of person. But actually being one of those people is very different because you have to kind of go forward in a world where, or in a realm that you really don't know what's going to happen next. You can guess, you can get really good at guessing, but you don't really know. And you have to be okay with that. And I don't it's weird, like I've kind of been a do-it-yourself person almost on accident. Not necessarily that like I created that job on accident, but it was more of the fact that like I did it on my own because there was no other option. It seemed like, and so now I know what it's like to be like a do-it-yourself kind of person, but it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling of like not really knowing where you're pointed in terms of like what to do next. There's no clear goal. I feel like with a normal design role, at least being a junior designer, I would be under the thumb of someone else's, and then the person would be like, "Oh yeah, you just do this now." Like design this thing for this user. Okay, that's a clear objective. That's a goal that I can follow, I think. But like doing that on my own is like, I'll have to figure out who the user is, what they want, why, all this other stuff, and it's just it can be overwhelming. It's a lot of things. You know, having the end goal of being that person who can do that kind of thing is nice, but actually being that person is very difficult. Oh. Oh, I need to I thought I was done with this one. No, I need to finish this. And then do that. And there's a little lever thing in here. I already done that. Okay. Anyways, what was I talking about? Being a go-getter or do-it-yourself or whatever. Sounds so pissed off right now. I guess I'm just kind of, as you can tell, like even being like kind of a generally zen person that doesn't really get ticked off by anything. It takes either a lot or a very pointed thing to get me pissed off, and that pointed thing is anything regarding my parents and their weird ideology. It just sets me off so damn perfectly. Yeah. I don't. I guess I'm just in a pissed off mood. I'm in a fired up mood right now. I haven't done design in a while, so I'm kind of annoyed at that. But I'm excited to be here. You can tell in my voice, I am excited to be here. So many things that are just like on my mind, and it's difficult and everything, and blah blah blah. I don't know. I have to be marketable. Yay! I have to say things that are cool and fun. No, I don't. I have to be myself. And I don't know. I guess right now would be a good time It's almost like I've been using this. Oh, that is too wide. I've been using this time today to kind of like. I haven't been doing it a lot. I usually going on a walk is a great way for at least myself to figure out kind of what I need to do. Like I don't know why. Maybe it's just the fact that like I talk out loud regardless of anything. But it's a way that I use to kind of figure out what I need, what I want, what's going on, you know. I haven't been doing that lately. And it's kind of funny. Right as I hopped on today, it's like the first thing I'm doing is like, all right, these are my problems. Let's figure it out. And you know, probably not the best time to be doing it is right now, but it's working, I guess. Kind of an unfortunate fact is that I used to be around a lot of people that I could just kind of say stuff like this and figure it out over time and work it out. And for a while I thought I could do that with my parents because like, you know, they kind of exist in a similar wavelength, I guess. Except, oh God, with my mom. Oh, she's so annoying. It's more of the fact that like my mom's brain right now is kind of tied into the fact of like figuring out all the social issues and blah. I'm just gonna compare this to my screen real quick. Okay, it's a little bigger. Okay. Alright. I guess this just needs to be a little smaller, maybe. That's not too bad. Let me find. Why? Properties? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mother. What does that look like? Okay, that's not that bad. Let me just make it a little bigger. Mother. Yeah, she's very focused on social issues right now, which is great. But everything we talk about, regardless of anything, has to tie into those social issues. And it's frustrating because I just want to talk about things and figure shit out. But she's like, no, do you think about, you know, this populace that's struggling with this? It's like, no, I'm talking about my life and what I'm, you know, having issues. Well, you should think about everyone else. And it's like, I can't. I'm trying to figure out my own goddamn life. So you can tell I get very heated even when I think about it. God, my parents just know how to fucking piss me off all the time. And it's like I don't know. I don't know. So, if I did move somewhere, I was thinking of moving to Texas, Austin, Texas. Great place to live, cheap cost of living. I don't know about. Well, if I were to move there right now, technically I wouldn't be able to, because the in Chicago you can own a car that's 15 years or newer from now. The maximum is 15 years old is what your car can be. Anywhere else, it's only 10 years. My car is a 2010 model year. So if I moved there, I couldn't do Uber. So I need to get enough money to get a newer car, to live somewhere else to do Uber. So I at least have to stay here for a little longer, probably until next year, in order to move somewhere else. So I can't just go somewhere right now. Yeah, I'm in a pickle because I need to better my skills and I need to work on some of the old projects that I've done in the past. And they're difficult as is. But hold on, let me sheet of paper. So the conundrum that I'm in is that so in order to move somewhere else, I need to have like purchase like a 2013 vehicle. And this is moving elsewhere with like wow, that is small. Sorry, I write tiny sometimes. I need to buy a new vehicle in order to drive Uber there. And I would be hinging on the idea that I could make at least $1,000 a week. So I have to also make 1K a week, which equates to about 5 hours a day. 5 hours a day. I'm sorry, that is tiny. If you want to know what I'm writing, just I'll either recite it or show it to you, or maybe I'll just write bigger. So I have to do those two things. And I guess the point of moving somewhere else without having like a real design job is to do more of this. But I think the reason why I don't want to just immediately do this right now, because like I could possibly do that and I could take that chance, but there's only like one or two people here, right? The I need to have a general audience with this, and I don't, and that's something I need to build up, and I need to be more of a normal creator. I guess I have to bring something to the table that some people want to watch or some people want to be a part of, and I just don't have that yet, and that's very apparent. So I need to have an audience. And honestly, if I wanted to not make this a chance, like I could either make $1,000 a week or I could, have streaming uh influence my income, I guess. So the only source of income that I have is Uber. It would be less of a chance in my mind if I had some sort of external income. Personally, I would rather have it come from here, but anything. I only have one source of income. That kind of scares the shit out of me, I think. Or, getting a job somewhere, getting a job elsewhere. So this is A and this is B. I would literally just I don't have to do all this. I don't even have to have a secondary income because technically Uber could be that. Or I could just not do that and I could just focus more on this. I don't have to do any of that shit. But so if I want to progress towards A, progressing, oh god. I basically just have to work until I think February in Uber. Hold on, someone's coming downstairs. I think. Or not. I really need that door. I need to build a door. Build the door. I'm working on it. I think if this schedule thing is working out, which I think it is, and at least like with being more on a schedule, I don't know. Should be able to get that door by the end of the week, which would be so much nicer because I feel like even now I'm not fully myself, which is weird. Like I am generally anywhere but this house. I am myself. I feel like here I'm a little toned down version. I speak quieter when I'm alone because I don't feel like I'm alone, and I'm just a little bit more hyper when I'm by myself. Not by myself, when I know that I'm just with you guys in this. Like when I know that I'm not really being heard or being cared, like no one's like in the room listening to me. Like if someone's nearby and listening to what I'm saying, kind of makes me feel a little weird because it reminds me of like walking down the street and like just talking to myself and then having someone turn and have like a really weird face pointed at me. I'm like, oh god, sorry, sorry I offended you, and made you thought I was made you think I was I don't know, trying to kill you or something. I don't know. But yeah, it kind of brings up that same kind of feeling and that hesitancy. But when someone's watching me from God knows who where else, I don't care. You're not near me, and that's fine. That's perfect actually. Um, yeah, that's kind of why I need to get that door so that I can kind of more feasibly, section myself off from the rest of the house so I can feel more at peace. I don't know. If I want to progress towards moving somewhere else and kind of being on my own and not really having a traditional design job, but still, working towards it, I built the door. I guess. In the meantime, build a door. But I gotta like really look into marketability. I hate that my camera moves that much. Improve, not improve, but like have a larger audience, I guess. So this is something that I just have to be doing now, doing Uber and everything. But if I want to progress towards having like a traditional job, I have to update projects and portfolio, which means redoing a lot of my old sketches and redoing some parts of an old project that I was working on. I also have to download and use and download and get certified in SolidWorks, which is a whole pain in the damn ass so far. But I have to figure that out and download it. I have to thoroughly work on a project. So not only do I really have to get better or not like show a better sense of my design ability, both, I guess, in my portfolio, I also really need to find a new project that's interesting and just go with it. Really do the whole thing of like researching user group, researching and testing, I guess, a user group, researching products that currently exist in that market, doing mood boards, doing material boards, doing the initial phases of ideation, then going through the whole thing. Like I have to really get into it, and that's going to take a lot of time, I feel like. So I essentially want to make a new project. And then after that, apply for junior positions because I feel like that's what I'd really do get. You know, in Austin. It's kind of where I want to go right now. So, what really sucks right now is I can't get out of this hellhole. Is what it feels like. Like building a door is kind of like a way to like just tell people to get the fuck off my case. Uh, really give me a space to myself. But I, one of the things that is just like kind of accelerating my anxiety right now is that like I can't leave. I cannot leave this place. I don't have the financial ability and I don't have the marketability to find a job for myself, find income so that I can live fucking somewhere else. I hate living here. I if you didn't understand like the sentiment behind like, oh, me and my family don't really get along. I hate it. I hate it. I can't stand it. Like that's probably another reason why I haven't been here in a while. Since I've just been so utterly pissed off at everything. And when I get pissed off, I don't get the normal. I don't normally, get pissed off and angry and shout at things. I shut down. I don't do anything. I like, I get so pissed off that I'm like, this is life, and I get so angry that I get depressed, and then I don't do anything. But it's fueled by anger because I just can't stand the situation that I'm in. I hate it so much. What can I do? Just get better. God, I'm sorry. I'm very angry right now at my situation. I am so utterly fucked right now in so many ways. It feels like, and I can't. The only thing I can do is just keep working forward, and it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't. For all the things that I've known is like if things aren't right, you change it. It feels like I can't change anything. So what am I supposed to do? Just keep working forward? That doesn't feel right, you know? It also feels like the kind of designing and sketching that I've been doing up until this point hasn't really made my skills any better. It's somewhat sustained things, even gotten worse in a little places. That's what it feels like. Even though I know, like, doing this sketch, it looks better than any of the stuff that I did at the end of my last semester at school. This looks better than, like, this as a quick sketch looks better than really a lot of the other stuff that I've been doing, which is kind of saying how much I have to get better at design sketching, but that might be in part due to the fact that I can't access SolidWorks, my baby, my child, the love of my life. I can't access it, so I can't do a lot of my design process. I have to learn Blender, which, God, I maybe I'll take like a week of, I'm hesitant to say, of no sketching. Do a little bit. I think I might do like stuff like this. Less of the, this. This is just to get my shoulder and everything and my eye attuned to things so that I can do this. I might just do these sketches and then move into Blender and do that for the rest of the day. Because I really need, if I can't access SolidWorks, I need to use Blender. I need to use some sort of 3D program. God, I love SolidWorks. Death. But yeah, I'm definitely in a position right now where I just get a job, apply, and live elsewhere. Though my parents are quite nice in the fact that if I get an internship somewhere else, not close by, they would be open to helping me fund my living expenses there, like it's essentially like going to college, except I can pay for half of the college. More of living somewhere, and not even the college aspect. It's simply just getting an apartment and living somewhere else. They only have to pay for part of that, you know. So I could have totally just gone to grad school. That could have been a thing, but I didn't. Yeah, sorry if I'm. Sounds like I'm just whining and complaining, but it's hard to just, come on here and be like, hey, everything's fine and dandy. Let's go. That feels like putting on a personality and walking out the door. I did that for a long time in high school. And I was only myself around my small group of friends and at home. Not really even at home too. It was mostly around a small group of friends and by myself. And anyone I would interact with at school, I would put on whatever mask would suit them. And not as like a people pleaser kind of way, kind of like if you had to fit in, you behaved how everyone else behaved. Not to make them happy necessarily, but to fit in. And instead of, like, I guess, sculpting my personality, I would create a new one. And then I just had ones that I could choose from and that I could wear the next day. And I didn't have to really alter anything about myself. And that takes a lot of energy. Being something you're not. It's not worth it in my eyes. Like, being true to yourself is just, yeah, you probably get on some people's nerves, and some people won't like you or whatever, but like, what's the point of being yourself, right? If you can't be yourself, then what's the point of having a sense of self? And then what's the point of furthering that sense of self? If you're not going to be yourself, then, go join something that's going to use your body and use you as a person. Because if you're not taking care of yourself and you're not wanting to be yourself and you're wanting to just simply throw away your sense of self, go join the army. Go join a strip club. Well, not necessarily. Go, fine. If you don't give a shit about yourself, take some company or something that will use your body then. Because that's what it is. In my mind, if you're not going to be yourself, then what the fuck is the point? Why are you sitting here saying that you're this type of person when you are not? Why don't you just let someone, rule over you then? Why not? Because you're not using your body in the way that being yourself. Kind of a radical idea, but like, what the point of being our own individuals is to be our own individuals. You're trying super hard to put on a mask and say that you're someone else, you're not. And if you're trying to assimilate yourself into something even though you're not that way, why? Just, if you don't want your body or your mind or your soul, give it to someone who will. That's my viewpoint. So like, if I'm not going to be myself and true to what I am feeling and who I am at the current moment, I'll just go join the army. There's no point, in my opinion. It costs too much for such a small, shitty goal that doesn't ever really feel good in the end. It doesn't work out. It's not a good feeling being something else. Lying to people, it's not really a sense of lying to people. It's just like, you don't really get any satisfaction. Like, sure, you join a cult, join an organization, you're this type of person for them, but you're not true to yourself. That person that you were pretending to be gets an award or something. That person gets the award, not you. If you were yourself, you wouldn't have gotten that award. That's the kind of thoughts that kind of pop in your head. It's like, oh, if you were yourself, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be getting this. So you don't get to have it. So when you're pretending to be someone else and you achieve things, you don't actually get it. It's that person that you're pretending to be, that character that you've created, is what gets the reward. So like, you can achieve so many things being someone else, but you yourself will never achieve anything. It's a really interesting idea, I think. I stopped way back in high school doing all that stuff, and I feel so great. Well, no, it's it feels really nice just being myself. I can't really say anymore. That's really it. I am myself. Anyways, I'm mildly annoyed right now. So I don't think that, God, every time that I think about my current situation, um, and how screwed I feel, um, coupled with the mentality of having to interact with my parents every single day, never gets me in a good mood. So I guess I'm gonna try to lighten myself up by, oh, drawing this maybe. I don't know. There's a part of me that doesn't really want to right now anymore. And yeah, I want to find a better picture than this. Uh, balls. Uh, hmm. I forgot to turn on music. I guess I've just been livid. Um, who needs music now? It's been an hour and a half. Everyone has their own music anyways, so why not? Hmm. All right. Another angular. This one, no. I know you can't see anything, but I'm just like kind of drawing out generally what I see. Oh God. Trying to be in a mood, I guess. Hmm. Yeah, I guess you can see on there. Um, I guess that's more of the line that I'm looking for. I guess I want to be kind of making it smaller as it goes farther away, so that there's that sense of depth. But it seems that the first one, first binding, it seems like it's like right around there. I just want it to be light. I want a light little line. This is why I kind of hate this pen sometimes. It doesn't really do what I want to do. And now I lost my place. There we go. Okay, and this one kind of glances at inside. Yeah, that's more like it. So I guess something that I hadn't really realized is that with snowboarding, um, bindings is that I assumed they were like this, but it seems like a lot of more sport bindings are like duck foot. Is that they're almost at like if they were to meet like this, it would make a W or a V, which is interesting. Anyways, the idea that I've been having with regarding to snowboard bindings is to have them magnetic, which has so many problems associated to it. But I feel like we could find like a really some pretty interesting solutions. Like one of the first issues I feel like would be either metallic stuff getting caught in it and sticking to the bindings when they're not supposed to, or ice debris like mud stuff and I don't know, other things kind of sticking to it as well, because it's, you know, there's snow, and I feel like based off of how like I'm imagining the everything to be, like snow and stuff would just kind of get packed in there accidentally, and ice might form on the magnets or something like that, and create a not fun day for the potential snowboarder user. That's not accurate, but okay. Not the fact that that thing wouldn't happen. I'm saying more of the lines. That's not an accurate line. Anyways, yeah. So one of the major issues with any sort of binding like that is that, well, stuff would just kind of get in there, and how do you displace that? And like, not only that, but how would you would that be worth dealing with that, even if you had a clear-cut solution to figuring out how to remove debris from there? Would having to deal with that counteract the want or the ability, not the ability, the want to purchase the product or use the product? And I don't snowboard, so part of me is like, yeah, of course I would, but I like seeing and building cool things. I don't know about a snowboard. That's something that I would just have to look into. Like, is getting off a ski lift and like quickly walking over to the slope and then just jumping on your board something that you would want to be able to do? You know, is securing your binding, you know, having to scoot around and feel, you know, immobile slightly, and sit on your ass and then put your bindings on a hassle? It's like, well, if that was yes, there's other types of bindings that are out there that are less of a hassle, but you know, do you want more of a streamlined device? It's simply just something just where I have to go up and ask some of these people, or not go up and ask, but like, I I have to zoom in on this. What this thing looks like. That's what it looks like. some of the questions that I have in regards to a lot of this is just I can't answer by myself. So being around people that or getting access to people who snowboard or having an ability to survey people who snowboard is something that's kind of just a necessity at this point. Well, that's interesting. That's tiny. Yeah. Anyways, that does not look like that, but it looks okay. This angle is slightly off. I want to just check right now. Oh, balls, that's off. Whatever. That needs to connect there. Part of me is not too vocal right now because and I don't really talk all that much. Unless I feel like I'm alone. Which I don't know, it's kind of like not a good practice and probably something that I should try to get better at. It's like there's always going to be people probably out in public. And if I feel like I need to vocalize something to figure it out, it's probably a good idea just in general. I don't know. Yes and no. Yes and no. I don't know. Yeah. Part of me. It's kind of because I had proved it at some point in time, but when I am talking out loud in any regard, most of the time it's just the fact that like how do I do this cog? Not that. Most of the time when I'm talking out loud, it's because, well, it feels more like a part of me, I guess, in a sense. Like hold on. Oh god, that's terrible. The angle of this is not good. I'll just leave it at that. Cool. Whenever I'm talking out loud, it's kind of like, which is weird. It's like a, I don't know. It's like a personal conversation with myself. It's usually what I think of it as. And so someone nearby listening in on it is just like a weird idea. because it usually has to do with something that I'm dealing with currently or something that I'm thinking about. I always thought of those as, you know, well, hold on. I'm trying to like figure. I think I need to figure out the tail of this before I go any further with this upper part because the binding is pushed down in the picture. But I could. I still need to figure out where it is in space. So. Let me just. There we go. And this. Kind of want to. I wouldn't know how to put the other one up, right? I think I might have to, in order to figure out how the bindings kind of look, I might have to just take an image of bindings and look at it. Yeah, I might have to do that. I think I'll just stop this one halfway through. I'm going to try to put the binding, I'm going to try to flip the binding up in my mind. No, that's a lot of work. I don't know. Oh, no, I can. I'm going to make this easier for the both of us. Well, not really. So, oh, there's this groove. Can't really point at it. So if you were to flip up the rear of that binding in your mind, there's a little on the front one, on the blue. There's this kind of like, it seems like they would have to overlap a little bit, but it seems like there's a little bit of a lip that when you overlap it just enough, it'll like lock into place. Like that little shiny part with that black is what would clip the rear to the backside, that little almost ankle cup area. And it would clip into place. So I'm in my mind, I'm just kind of like scooting that out just a little bit and putting it more upright, though the back of that is going to kind of curve a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit more of a, I guess, a creative path with this one, even though I didn't really, want to do that yet. Wanted to still like practice, I guess, but doing some imagination here. This is the imagination land, not like South Park. Maybe like South Park. All right, so this, just gonna do the bottom real quick. Yeah, but I guess it'd be a good idea to get better at, I don't know, not public speaking is a different thing in my mind. Speaking in public is what I'm thinking about, because you have to be comfortable with the fact that like people are gonna hear you ramble about things. And like be comfortable in that fact. All right. It looks like I'm trying to like wave my hands around. That needs to be more upright actually. And then this will actually kind of probably be up here maybe. Yeah. It cuts in pretty far, but then it stems out kind of. The stems seem like they're built in right here. Stems, I'm saying weird things that probably aren't what they're called. No, I need to make it a little bit deeper on there, and then that does not look right. Doing this with a pen is not easy. I think. Yeah. Seems like best path for this. Kind of using shading as my aid to kind of block out all the other lines. There we go. Yeah. What was I thinking of? So I need to pull this out that way. Okay. I don't know. I have to feel like I should get better or try to get better at. I don't know. It's tricky because, like, if I try to move to get better at just speaking my, like, private thoughts in public, it's probably not the best idea because they are just, that's thunder. Like, it's not, thoughts that I have aren't normally the greatest. Not something that everyone would agree with, I guess. And, that's fine, perhaps, but have that come down. And yeah, there we go. Yeah. I'm just kind of guessing what this would look like on the backside. Yeah, there's a part of me that thinks that, like, my internal thoughts should probably be internal. Not for the sake of that, like, I wouldn't be, it's not acceptable or something as a person or whatever. Just more of the fact that, like, I don't know, not everyone needs to hear what I'm thinking at every given moment, point in time. So, I don't know. Maybe it isn't something that I should make super public. just because I want to get better at, talking in this setting. I think what would make me better at talking in this setting is if I had a fucking door. Oh my god, everything goes back to the door. um, yeah, there we go. That's cool. And then there we go. That looks better. These bindings are really kind of like interesting in the fact that they're not pretty minimalistic in terms of like what exactly is on the bindings at a given time. It's not a whole lot going on here. Look at that. I made it stand up even though it's not supposed to. Or per the picture. They weren't anticipating it to stand up. It's a binding. It's a binding. Yeah, part of me was thinking that I wanted to. So, instead of, I guess, designing right now, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a fun day. Tomorrow will be a day where I get bindings, so even if I spell it right, which I probably am not, I do not care. So I'm gonna sketch just the bindings, or bindings and bindings, and board separate. I want to hone in on the rear piece. So this rear piece, right? And I'll kind of explain why in a second. And then I guess theorize connection point. And why that's kind of important right now is that, so my idea with this magnetic snowboard is so when I look at, sorry I scrunched up like that, when I look at snowboards as of right now, and granted I have not been skiing or seen snowboarders in a while, just going off of how I view the sport or the leisure activity, is that with bindings you have to make sure that everything's stable. So you have to have a securing system where someone can flex their foot in the boot, as well as kind of do a little bit of flexing here and there, but it has to be pretty much secure so you can control the board. The main issues that I see with snowboarding is that the connection process is hefty. You have to line up this little thing with this little piece right here, the little cog, and you have to put it in, and you have to make sure it's secured right, and then you have to ratchet it down, and it usually takes at least 5 or 6 ratchets or whatever. It's extensive, and you can't just, when you do it off of a ski lift, well, when you get off a ski lift for a snowboarder, they don't really have a way to propel themselves, so they have to walk somewhere, and usually they do it with one part of their foot attached to the board still, with the other one kind of like pedaling behind them. It looks really stupid. It looks like they just forgot how to walk, or like they didn't, I don't know, it's like almost like they forgot that they had one boot in their snowboard, but they look really dumb, and it seems like there's no better way to do it, but they'll kind of scoot over to the spot that they're going to start at, because they don't really have like a way to propel themselves forward from a start. So they'll get at the part where there's a decent sized hill that you can go down. Then they have to sit down, put their foot in, ratchet themselves in, stand up again, which can still be difficult, and then get going. It seems like a stupid process in my mind. And so I started looking at snowboard bindings, and it turns out there's more of a step-in binding that it's like the type of binding that skiers use. So they'll kind of put their toe in first and then put their heel in, and it's less of a process. But I feel like it's something that you may or may not be able to do right off the start. Like after you get off the ski lift, you can push yourself off the ski lift and then go. It might be less of an issue. But again, you still have similar problems. Like if the ski lift is not close enough to the start of the hill, you need to waddle yourself over like a dumbass. You might need to, and sometimes this happens with ski boots, you have to kind of clear off the areas because it gets kind of chunked in with snow. You have to, get to the area that you want to, sit down, put your boot in. It takes it's less of a process, but it's still something that's associated to the rest of the process that you have to do. So you have to sit down, put your boot in, stand up again, which is still hard, and get going. So the only thing that's been simplified by the process is just that ratcheting part. That ratcheting part going 4 or 5 times and then getting up. You don't have to do that. You just step in. But you still have to do the whole part of sitting down, strap up, go. And you still don't get like a general, you have to find a place that's suitable towards, that has a hill that's kind of steep that you can start off so you can get some speed. The idea behind a magnetic snowboard is you don't have that issue. Like you could it would be a snowboard that kind of has this, like, I need to make that line more pronounced. So this back portion here, it would still have this little lip here. There we go. It would still have this little lip back here, so you have more stability. But this top part would probably more or less disappear, be present on the boot itself, be more rigid in the back. I think I could maybe even just get rid of this totally. I'm not sure yet about the ergonomics of that, but it would just be this little lip and then like a connection platform. And the idea behind it is that you could literally just throw the snowboard on. So you run up to a hill kind of like a skimboarder would, get a little running jump, attach your snowboard directly to your feet, and then go. And then you have that speed of having the running start. And so that's why I kind of want to like have this, get rid of as much of this as possible, and maybe even make the snowboard just a little thicker so that I could inset the connection point. So it would be something that your foot kind of falls into, just like a little bit, to a small degree. So then I can get rid of, I don't even know why I didn't make this line harder. Some of these lines I did not do well. Anyways, I could theoretically get rid of, this. I wouldn't need a top binding. I wouldn't need that binding. I could theoretically get rid of that and just incorporate it in the boot. It would just be like a little heel cup, almost. None of this front stuff. So you just, like, put your foot near it, and it'll be a strong enough magnet to just attach. So you could run up to a slope, kind of throw the board in front of you, connect your feet to it, and then go. And keep going. You'd be able to do the one thing that snowboarders really can't do, which is get a running start. You could get a running start on a slope. That'd be so cool, I feel like. Also, it makes things easier for when you go up on a ski lift. You just detach it, bring it with you, and when you get off the ski lift, you just walk to wherever you're going. You don't have to look like a little idiot wherever you're going. It just feels like it solves the issues that just make snowboarders look really weird and awkward and makes their movements look really weird and awkward is just that kind of like you have your front foot on the board, but you have your back foot so you can kind of pedal somewhere and kind of like limp over to a spot where you can sit down, take time, and put your bindings on, and then somehow figure out how to get back up. It's like it's a whole process, and it's like I have tried to learn how to snowboard, I think, for like an hour and a half, and then I got fed up and did skiing. But from people that I know who have tried to learn how to snowboard when they're adults, which I think the key difference is that yes, kids can learn things faster, but kids are under the impression that oftentimes, like, when you learn something and it's hard, there is no other way to learn it. This is the way, and therefore you have to learn it or not get it. So when you talk to a kid who's like learned how to snowboard, it's like, oh yeah, well it was hard, but like I understood. But when you talk to adults, they're like, this part is hard because of this, and this is a difficult issue that I have to do. They're much more pointed usually, but they kind of look at it like it's hard to learn this because of this, instead of it's hard. And adults kind of try to figure out a different way to do things. Adults, anyone in high school, I feel like. Anyways, I had talked to people who tried learning snowboarding like after high school, and they're talking about like, yeah, the weird like have one foot off the board when you're trying to go somewhere. Just you never get enough power, and you just kind of it's something that you use to just kind of push yourself 20 feet which is also slightly downhill, because there's just really no walking would be harder because you have to stop, get in a secure place where you can take your bindings off, then get off the board, and then pick up the board, which is still pretty heavy because of the bindings. The board is heavy as well, but anyways, I feel like this is something that just could be so much better. And kind of in part to that, if you take off a lot of the bindings and whatever, those are all like, this connection here is a joint, this is a joint, that's a joint, that's a joint, that's a joint. Not a joint, but like a connecting point. There's a connecting point, and when you have connecting points, they're usually not as strong as everything else. They have the likelihood of not being as strong as anything else, but they also cost a little bit more. So if there's only a minimum of like maybe 2 connection points, which are magnets, it could be cheaper too, which is, it could be that the fact that it's new technology can be considered. It could be in the beginning a little or more expensive to build just because it's new parts and new construction. But like, if you were to think about having magnetic bindings versus regular bindings and have them at the same volume of production use or and purchase, my thinking on this is it could be less expensive to produce and even to sell, because less parts, you don't have this you wouldn't have this side part. It would just be, although you'd have, with the magnetic boards, it would probably be something where you can only have magnetic boards that are, this. The board, because it would be inset, would have to be a specialized magnetic board. The little partial binding would have to, I think, be a part of the board based off of the idea that I'm thinking. So that whole thing would be itself. And then probably the shoe would have to be itself, so you couldn't switch things around, but that means I would just have to have lots of different styles, I guess. So what I'm thinking about with when I say hone in onto the rear piece to think about is that, so I really should sketch this out. I think did I have a shitty version? I did. Look at this shitty version. So the idea is that there's these two like oval connecting points that are the magnets, and they're pretty strong magnets, and it would be on the same look more or less on the boots. And you'd have that backing that's, you know, similar to just this piece, and this backing part could fold down flat, so it would almost come out of here, kind of like more in like this manner. That is not straight. Anyways, it would be flat. Anyways, it'd be flat, and if you ever got any debris or other magnetized things onto this, when you push this in, it takes that inset plate and it pushes the whole plate, including the magnets, up, and then for the time that the back plate right here is pushed in, it would demagnetize the magnet. So I think there's a way to do that, but I'm not certain. It could use a solenoid, and I'm not sure. So that is one of the things that I have to look into, is like, is there a way to put an electric current through a magnet to make it less magnetic? I think there is. I have to look into it, though. And if you have any idea, please tell me, because I would like to not have to research that, but I probably still will. But help is always nice. Anyways, you'd push this in, it would push out all the dirt, and then you'd have a connection on your boot where, like, imagine this is the heel of the boot, where you almost kick down on the boot and would have a button or a latch or something like that would do the same with the boot. It would kind of push the magnets out, and it would jettison any of the dirt, caked on ice, snow, or whatever. It would jettison it out from that connection point, so that you can have a better connection to this. But again, with that thing, with having that on the rear side of that boot, is if you were to be connected to the snowboard, and that part of your boot be hit by something, like with this open design where your heel of your boot is exposed, there's the potential that it could eject you from your snowboard, which is not a good thing. So that's why I kind of need to look into that rear part. Is I need to make something that can fold down and be pushed in while also protecting this area. There has to be some sort of connection way and parts. That would be the most complex part, I think, in this heel cup area, mixed with something for the base that could be pushed up. Yeah, it's something that is a little difficult. But I think I have some pretty good ideas. Just thinking about it right now, it's like, well, maybe I could have something that the magnets aren't pushed up. It's almost like a wiper is pushed across the blade or something like that, or like, but you know, that could cut people or pinch things. You know, I just need to put out some ideas regarding this. But it would be really good, a really cool idea, I feel like. And I want to make it as simple as possible, not just for the sake of myself, but for the sake of other people, I think. Having it look as minimal as possible, I think, is a very big goal. So, having it look as minimal as possible is probably the best idea for this product, because I don't want there to be any sort of major edge like this does. This kind of pops up a little bit, because if it does, then it could make it seem like it's hard to just like throw onto your feet, which I want to. That's part of the idea, is you just want to be able to throw it onto your feet and go. So I don't want there to be any like major edges or like a box that you have to aim your foot towards, because it just wouldn't. It could. The thought is that if it looks too complex, people are going to think it's going to be too complex to switch to, or to buy, or to use. So, regardless if it has a learning curve or not, you have to make it seem like there isn't a learning curve, or make it seem like it's just a simple and easy process. There's so many things that I think would be a simple and easy process. Like, I don't know, owning a Tesla, they make that seem like it's you just get in and drive. But like you have to relearn the whole, like you have to learn how to use your wipers. Like they're not in the same place. Um, so yeah, I want to make it look simple and easy. And there's the idea of, just having a flat board and magnetic boots. But I think the reasoning for having this back right here could be, for one, is that the ratcheting system, while it tightens your boot in this manner, this downward manner, kind of like angular manner, your boots can slide that way. And there's no real way to, yeah, you can have like a tube that you connect this way with a ratchet, but that would be a third ratchet, it would take up more time. Or you need a certain amount of flex when you're snowboarding, and having a ratchet there would just impede you a little too much. Could be that. Or, you want to be able to move your foot this way and your ankle this way, but we don't have the flexibility to move our ankles behind us. I don't know. It's a theory. Anyways, there's a reason for this. It's present on any binding for snowboards. I want to figure out the reason for this. I want to see if you need it anymore. I might need like a halfway one just to like protect the flexibility on their ankle. But this connection right here would be taking care of that. But also something to think about is that connection right there, it tamps down on the foot. So the connection that I would have almost puts glue between the sole and the board. And that's a different connection because shoes and a lot of the boots, I've worn snowboarding boots once. Yes, I know that. But I'm thinking in terms of like just regular boots, because they're kind of similar. Is you have a little bit of maneuverability in your toes. Like you can kind of like arch your toes up a little bit, because I do that when I walk. You can kind of arch your toes up a little bit and create a little pocket of space in here with your foot. So if you're only connecting the sole to the board, you still have a little bit of oil room on top. So it might be something where I have to design the boot so that it's as close to your toes as possible. It kind of traps them in place. Or maybe there's like it could be that I could have a securing system that would close the space that you have and like use some foam to kind of like clamp down on your feet only when it's attached, or maybe before when you're gonna go out. And yeah, I think it would be something where you kind of one of those twist bindings where you twist it and it kind of all closes the space on your feet, so you don't have a lot of wiggle room with your toes, so that when you're connected to here, you don't like have a space gap. Could do that. Now I'm thinking about essentially what I might have to do is take all of this, incorporate it in the shoe, have a little bit of a heel cup just to keep you from ejecting yourself from the board. That would also be used to clean it off. And then just have it be minimal. But what might end up happening is that it would cost more, or the same, or a little more. It'd be really nice if I could make it cost less, but I feel like doing that would be a bad idea. Like just cheapening the materials would probably be a bad idea. So then I'd have to go off of like marketing this. I'd have to go off the idea that it would be something new and cool and different. And I'd have to, in building it and in selling it, the idea would be to show how seamless the nature of using it and how cool and fun and different it makes snowboarding. It would make snowboarding a more usable sport, which is interesting. Because snowboarding is definitely seen as like very difficult. And it is to learn in the very sense. Like the learning curve is very steep. But if you, I guess, I'm thinking in terms of like an advertisement. If you advertise it in a way that makes it seem like it's easy to use, but still hard to learn, you could make the hard to learn part easier because not everything is hard. I said I was gonna storyboard a commercial, and I'm getting to the point where I'm not even gonna fucking do that. I'm just focusing on this now because I got distracted by design. Get distracted by everything lately. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna be doing more tomorrow if I don't get part of that commercial done. So, oh, all right. I want to do a commercial. So, kind of good that I was talking about commercials and marketability and all this stuff because now I got to do that. So, what I want to do, if you hadn't heard before, is I want to make a commercial for this, for all this that's going on. So, before I get into like, you know, there's a clip of me doing this, or a clip of me doing this, or like some fun music and a graphic that flies by, I need to figure out what, I guess, what I want this to be, or what it is, and what I want to go towards, or whatever, so that I can tell other people about that. So, what do? I design enthusiast um enthusiastically enthusiastically um design cool products, new products. I'll do new. Enthusiastically design new products. I talk about I need to fix that. Hold on. My white balance. God, I stopped streaming for a week and all my things get like fucking ruined. Alright, that's actually not the greatest. Look at that. Wow, that sucks. There is no in between. uh that's alright. I'll do that for now. Okay. So enthusiastically design new products. I'd say I talk about insightful things. Or I try to. Topics and ideas. Sorry about the camera shake. I can't really control it. Ideas. I don't really do jokes. Hold on, let me trying to configure this. Balls. That's better. What if I lower the brightness overall, but then increase the exposure? Oh god. Yeah, that sucks. um, that'll have to do. Anywho, uh, it's so shaky. I really, well, you could probably see. I have one connection point here, and then this is stemmed from here, which is then connected to here, which this is just clamped onto this, which should not exist. This clamp point, God, it, oh. And then this is arced over to here, which is then raised up at not a grading. Everything's connected. There's like this should not be connected to this, which should not be connected to this, which should not be connected to that, or this. Like none of this should exist. Um, Anywho, so on here I kind of design stuff, talk about insightful things. I don't know. I hope to encourage um, creative or creative mindset. Encourage a creative mindset. I do encourage a lot of like seemingly Buddhist ideals, not on purpose. Although today I was very irate, which is different than I don't get angry. I don't like yell or anything. I just sit and contemplate how to do things to people. No, I mostly just think like how to change it. How do I make things better? How do I fix it? Um, so I don't. When I get mad up to a point, and then get really tired, and then sleep. So I don't like getting mad because that means I'm gonna not be able to do anything for the rest of the day. Usually, because use all my energy up, and then I'm just dead tired. So enthusiastically, I don't know, based off of fucking the snowboard, which I'm not talking about right now, which means it goes away. So this is what I am hoping to do here, I guess. Encourage a creative mindset. So talk about how to design things. I'm not a pro at designing things, but at least I'd, want to encourage a creative mindset about things. It's like, not being the best at something, but just to do something and to create something, because why not? Why can't you? Why is that? Why are we not allowed to be creative? Just do it, man. um I don't talk to people on here. There's a couple of you around here, I think. A couple of you geezers, just not geezers, lurkers. I lurk whenever I am watching a stream. I totally love that. Just sitting, watching, enjoying my time. Cause why not? I like it. Other people like it. We can all like it together in silence. But um, yeah, I don't really talk with people. Maybe that's just the fact that on stream no one's here chatting. Okay, that's fine. But like I can't really say that like there's always the marketability of like, oh, I interact with my viewers and therefore it's something that you can look forward to is cool interactions or whatever. It's like I don't do that, so I can't market it. I don't want to like flat out lie to people because I don't want them to expect something that I don't normally do. So those are things that I do currently. What are some things that I would want to be able to do? Is have discussions regarding things. Yeah, that would be cool. But how would I market something that doesn't exist? um, I don't know. I generally, I'd say I have a pretty positive attitude regarding things. So a positive outlook, unless I'm pissed off at my parents, which is kind of being a normalcy these days. Positive outlook. Um, yeah. So, hmm. And that can be regards to like how I have not done it lately a lot, but I do play video games here and there. Um, and I generally don't shit on my teammates. Like, I don't do that ever, really. Because it never attains. We never attain the goal of winning the game by making other people, especially the people on our team, feel terrible about what they're doing because they already feel terrible. So mounting on top of that would not do anything positive. So that could be put into positive outlook. What's something that I am? Any clues? What do I add to people's lives by doing this? Something to study to, I guess. Something to work. Something to study to, or kind of like white noise. I am white noise. All right. Yes. So something that I can kind of ride on a little bit is similarities with the one and only Bob Ross. Doesn't help that I have curly hair. um, not is not a hint to my devilish nature. This is just my hair, I think. But something that I can do is kind of market it, like have. What I can do is like have Bob Ross intro, but like the image, and then have it slowly kind of like melt away into my own logo and everything, my own stream, and then have it kind of melt away. It's like, oh, it's something similar. I don't know. I I don't like forcing positivity, as can be very apparent by lately. Uh, but like, it doesn't take a whole lot to be positive regarding anything. Like, while I was negative lately about my situation, it's like, if I can make this, not if, but like, in continuing to do design, in figuring out how I work, and that I just simply needed food to have a higher energy level. In figuring all those things out, like, yeah, it sucks right now because I haven't really put all those things into practice. But I believe that once I do, my days will be quite nice. My daily life will be quite nice, comfortable even. Nowadays, I'm like kind of frustrated at everything, but in the future, I see be quite comfortable with everything that is going on around me. Um, and I have a potential to create something that not many other people would think to create or have the ability to do so, which is a community based around general positivity and like creativity. And like, I guess there is a part of me that's like, I would love to be able to live off of doing something like this. Yeah, that's a general thing. Like, everyone would love to, make a living off of something that they find fun. Um, but that's not the main thing. It's like the main thing would be like creating a community of people who can be creative and can creative in the sense of maybe even like painting and everything, but like kind of create a community centered around good design, and creativity, and just general positivity. Like, cause like, why not? I guess a community centered around uh creativity, good design, and general positivity. Oh god, camera shake. I don't offer a whole lot, I feel like, but I offer this, you know? Like, why not? Why not? Why can't we be positive about things? Why is it so difficult? I needed to rant earlier today. I definitely needed that, for sure. But, like, focusing in on it, no, don't need to, I think. Personally, I don't need to focus in on everything that I just said previously. Well, not just now, but, like, my pissed off nature earlier. I don't really want to focus in on that because, like, part of the reason why I was so pissed off is because I was mildly confused about my current outlook. And now that I figured it out, generally, more or less, like where I need to head, like where I could be heading, now I know. Now I just need to go do it. So I can be my normal self again of like kind of mildly positive. No, more of, I guess, I don't know, constant content. That's uh yeah, I'll put that down just as like a brainstorming constant content. I don't shut up. Really ever. Unless I'm focusing on design. Even still, like that'll remind me of something and I'll just go. Just keep talking about something. Because well, as you can tell, no one's in the basement anymore. I don't think. I haven't heard anyone down here, so that's someone could be sitting right outside the curtain and be listening to every single thing I say. But God, I make that door, because then everything will be better. I will have my own space and everything will be nice because that curtain doesn't do God near anything it should. Ugh. It's so flimsy. It's like making a door out of cardboard. It's just not a door, you know. It averts our eyes from the room, but we also, as human beings, have ears and other senses that attribute to figuring out what's going on in a certain environment. So I want to block all of those senses from anyone recognizing what's going on inside here because it would make me just that much safer. Anyways, so I need to do more designing, more or less every day. Need to design more often, so every day it seems, and stream every day. And I need to make a door, and I think that will calm most of my anxieties right now. But this commercial again, focus in. I think when I get hungry, without getting tired, I get distracted. But when I get tired, I'm actually hungry. Everything's based off of food these days for me, it seems. It's so weird. Anyways, so these are generally me and things that I can market about myself. If you have any other ideas, please let me know. What are other things that I could possibly do? And things that I've kind of wanted to do is cardistry. I have a downward facing dog. I have a downward facing camera. I haven't done it in so long. It's kind of close. Ugh. That was so bad. Yeah, it's kind of hard to be this close to the camera. Yeah. Would I know? I haven't done this in so long. The camera's too close, I feel like, in order to do a lot of these. Feels like I have to almost hit the table with a lot of my movements. I can't flick like I used to. Oh, Jesus. No. No. Oh. Probably see the shaker when I hit the friggin' table. But it'd be interesting to. I know I'm doing the same move over and over again, but feels like I'm getting too close to the camera with a lot of these, even though I'm quite far. Like I have all that room, but like the zoom is, I know the focus isn't set right, but like, I feel like oh, God, I want a better camera, but I can't rationalize that purchase right now. It would be nicer to have a wider viewed camera so that you could see, down here, that the edge of the table isn't where this paper is. There's still about like this much more table down here, and then like I push my keyboard out of the way, but like theoretically, let's see, the end of my camera is there. I have this much more space on the top, and then on the side I have, I think it's pretty accurate. Nah, I have like, I don't know why I use these fingers, but I have that much space on this side, and then on this side I have about this much space. I think what would help is just a taller apparatus. As you can probably see in this camera, it's not very high up, and it's kind of hard to make it higher, just regarding anything. I don't know, that's something. So in trying to market myself, I guess, this is the only trick that I feel like I know how to do really well. It's not a trick, it's cardistry. What is another one? No, hold on. This is a difficult one, so I still have to practice it. That always flies out, and then I have to do that. Oh, okay. If I did more cardistry on here, it would probably be something I could say, hey, I do this, it's fun, it's interesting. I am, I guess, my variety brain. Yeah, I could say that. So, constant content / variety brain. That's a thing that I do. I don't have ADHD, I just think about everything. Everything is always going on in my mind, and I get to just pick random topics from it every so often so that I can use to talk about or do or think about or understand, or God, something is always in my brain just festering, waiting to come out. So that's something that I can utilize in my commercial. I guess that's, about me. You can't see that. But in terms of promo codes, so the other thing about making a commercial for myself, use God. So I need to almost make a commercial for the products that I use currently that I get promo codes for to sell to other people. So my credit card gives me, if someone else opens a card with my like link or account or whatever, a link to my account. So you're basically saying that I, told them to go open one, and they did because I told them or something like that. We both get $100 credit on our cards, which is really nice. But it's a kind of a way to make money, because I have to look into it, but I don't know if I get credit. I don't know if I can take a cash advantage onto that, a cash advance onto that. I don't know. I have to look into that. Regardless, I could just use my card for more. If like I ended up getting $200 of credit on my account, I could just use that to go get groceries one week, and I wouldn't have to spend any money technically. I could also get like, I don't know if that would add to my credit. Anyways, there's that, and then I think I've talked about Rakuten using my code on there. If you spend $30 signing up using my code, you get $30 afterwards, essentially making that purchase $30 or more, you get $30 for free, more or less. You know. But I get $30. I don't know if I get $30 off. I think we both get $30 to our bank accounts separately. It's weird. I have to look into it. Anyways, I want to make a commercial for. They make it so I want to make it seem like this is like these commercials are just being like almost like I paid for this commercial to be put on a device that is already cycling through commercials. So regardless of if people actually use this for their promotional codes and everything like that, this will seem more legit because it's being followed and I don't know, compressed. It's being followed by these commercials, which would seem in a more official manner. It'd almost be seen like, you know, some company paid me, like the one that currently is that does a really shitty job of doing it. This company paid me to show these things, and they just happen to have promotional codes and things. And regardless of people wanting to do that, this commercial could come up almost being not rationalized, but like it makes my channel seem more realistic of a channel because it's being shown beside real companies. So it kind of tricks the mind into thinking this is its own company because it's being surrounded by others that are their own company. This can be more realized because these are realistic, which is a really interesting idea. So in order to make these kind of commercials, I want to use footage from their commercials. I want to steal their money. No, because I want to use like some footage from their commercials, like, you know, of someone handing a card, of a Discover card. But I also want to use some images from their website and a screen recordings of their website of using their website to activate promo code. There has to be a clear process to go through, step by step. It would probably help, yeah, voiceover, of course. Voiceover perks, while visually highlighting the best perks, the best parts. I think that's like a thing that I always kind of see with commercials. While they say a whole lot vocally, they'll highlight, you know, the top 3 things by writing them out and showing them visually. Oh, all right. So each website could be in a different style. You know what I could do now that I'm thinking about it? Is while I want to make it complex. I could have it where I just have like a, you know, download this app or join this thing with this promo code and get, you know, this amount of money. Because regardless of what I advertise, kind of to make it simpler and complex at the same time, regardless of what I advertise or try to emphasize the things about these programs that the people are selling. Regardless of what I emphasize, that's going to be present on their website whenever if the person, you know, wants to look more into the website or wants to use the code or whatever, that's going to be present on the website. So what I could do is just have like a split. As of right now, I only have 2 things that I'm advertising, but it could be 4. And it could be like, you know, card and then shopping and then, I don't know, car and then phone or something like that. And they're each in their own logos, and then they have their step-by-step thing plus code or whatever. Yeah, I know it's tiny. It's mostly for myself, but I would have a screen that just kind of sits here. There's no real visual thing. There's none of this really. That's just like, get $30 extra if you sign up with this code for this thing when you shop. Something simple, just this is what happens. And just have this screen kind of almost twinkling, have some sort of graphic subtly moving. So have it, you know, kind of active, but then have the step-by-step for a lot of these things just kind of present. There could be like a subtext that says, you know, take photo or later or something like that. But have, you know, these things just present on here. And I could even be realistic. Being real with people is probably a better thing. It's just, you know, so this could be its own thing. And it's a lot of work. It's getting all this footage and everything. I think I want to try first. So this would be a large kind of graphic. And the idea behind all of this is that what I would probably do is display this or do the commercials or whatever for 5 minutes, maybe. Play this commercial, like within a whole video, have this being displayed for 5 minutes or something, maybe like 3 minutes or something like that. Play this video and then display this, and then maybe make a different one. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know, it'd be interesting. Maybe showcasing different parts. Show a different video of this, of an advertisement of this, and then play this again, and then that would loop. So, it would be a whole basically video, a YouTube video that I would download on the device and figure out just how to loop it constantly. So that it's something that could just be plugged into my car and be played in the backseat. So it would be one giant video that's constantly being repeated. So this would show, that would show, this would show, that would show, and then it would repeat. This would show, that would show, this would show, that. So I have a lot of work to do then. And I don't want to necessarily make this necessarily. What I could do, try to find a bunch of things that, like, when you join the site with your code, you get to give people money and they give you money back because you joined or whatever. Find as many that I can that are feasible. Like, not something where, like, you know, every time they buy something, you get 1 cent. No. Something where it's like, you both get $25. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. Because my thinking is that the way that with the device that I currently have, I don't know if I've said this before or not, but I think I have. For every ride that I do that someone's in my car, And using the tablet, I get 1.5 points. Every 250 points, I get $25, which means I get 1.5 cents every time someone uses that in my ride. So I get $25 a month pretty much from advertising all this shit. And at times I've looked at that screen myself. There's like 30 ads that play within one like 10-minute car ride. It's nuts. It's just so much shit in there. And then there's also like the device also you can play games or whatever, but it's mostly ads. That's a shit ton of ads. If I had that many promotional codes that I was, advertising to people, I feel like I'd make a lot of money just off of that. That's like I feel like this is something that would be a really good idea to do. So I'm going to try to do it. So right now I have, I think, 2 codes that I can give out to people where they can, if they do something, they give me money and I get money and we both get money basically. I have 2, so I can probably make this little graphic thing pretty easily. And then I think what I would want to do is I'll make this graphic, and I might even make it on stream. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. Could be something interesting. But then this is going to be more of a bigger process. It's going to be editing a lot of the stuff that is on stream and making it seem interesting and exciting. And I think I'll do that. I need to do an actual storyboard. I do like that I'm working on like bigger paper. I have been wanting to work with big paper for a while, and I don't know why I haven't, because it's so nice. Everything is my canvas except for the table, but like when I put this on here, it is. Anyways, I'm gonna do this first, and it's really simple, and then I'm gonna do this, which is kind of complex. Put it in my car, see what happens. So during my week, I'm going to work on the commercial, work on this board. That'll probably take up a lot of my time this week. Probably once I get the commercial done, I could focus more on this as a product. Hopefully by that point, I'll be able to have some 3D software that I can work on pretty fast. If not, I might kill my computer. If I get this done and I'm a decent way on the snowboard design and I don't have 3D software that I can rely on, I might have to take some time and learn Blender so that I can work on this project. And I think I would work on this project in Blender so that I can so I can learn it and do better with it and have a better sense of scope with how to use the program. So this, then that. Then I'm going to revamp my old designs. That includes a motorcycle protection suit project, a like portable work helmet, really cool. I think I might have to just take a couple of the ideas that I've had and put them into a 3D program. And then from there, whatever. That's a whole lot of stuff that I gotta do and I gotta get done. So that'll last maybe like about a month. And I think that'll be, all those things are pretty fun and interesting, for me at least. You have an idea of some design-oriented thing that could be done, or some, some design thing that might be fun to watch, fun to do, fun to interact with. Some, I guess, things that I want to do in the future stream endeavors. Is quick sketch design prompts. First quick sketch, yeah, design prompts is have a prompt, like maybe something as narrow focused as like a different cool design for snowboard bindings. Doesn't have to change the function, just change the look. Or what's something? I was thinking like a motorcycle. It's like, that's not a quick sketch. Something similar to like Google Glasses. Something that seems futuristic but minimalist at the same time, or something that's maximalist. That's a cool idea. I feel like it'd be really cool to have people watching on stream and make something, design something themselves, whether, it looks like a third grader designed it or, a professional designed it. Like putting your ideas out on paper and then having like, I don't know, Reddit or Discord to post your images into that we can all kind of look through and be like, oh yeah, well that's interesting, and maybe look at that, or like learn from each other kind of thing. I want to do that with people. So that's something that I want to do in the future on here. I don't know, have insightful conversations, discussions about topic. Both in text and over like a voice thing like Discord or something like that. That'd be interesting. Having discussions with people, it's always interesting. Not arguments, discussions about like different ideas and different ways to go about doing certain things. Playing video games with community. I don't play games. No, I play League of Legends, and sometimes I play a lot of Minesweeper. I don't know if that's something that I can figure out how to play against someone else. It's mostly League, and then Valorant. Those are fun. Those are interesting. Those are the games that I can play with other people who are watching, would want to play. I don't know. Play with someone who's a very tactic-oriented individual. It's a way to say that I don't do well with the mechanics a lot of the times, but I can figure out what the other team's gonna do, and then tell you about it, and then make us win, help us win, make you. Yeah, all these things have to do with having an audience. So I need to give someone a reason to be here to interact with them. And then I need to figure out how to interact with people again. Interacting with people in the street or in an Uber is very different from interacting with someone at a bar or, at a community event or on stream. There's very different ways to interact with people, and saying hi, hello is, one way, but I guess in terms of having people this is just my brain going, in terms of interacting with people on stream, the best way I think would be to just act like Dora the Explorer. Like, what do you think? Do you think there's a, just kind of always posing a question? Let me write that down. Stream advice. Always pose a question. I put this somewhere. My sticky notes are like so old that they don't really stick to anything, so I need to like find a place I can wedge it that's not too far away. I could put it right here. Always pose a question. Cool. Just adjusting everything. Alright. Yes, alright. So, got everything kind of laid out. Tomorrow I'll do more of like an actual storyboard of like, this is what happens, then this happens, then this happens, and then a graphic slides in and slaps you in the face. So, yeah. This will be really easy to figure out, I feel like. Just like, what are the steps that you need to take? I hope you heard that crack because it was satisfying. Let me pop my shoulder. Hold on. Ooh, hell yeah. That didn't exactly hit the spot, but it was close. Anywho. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm not good at that. Maybe I will be. Yes. Anyways. I'll be here tomorrow. I actually will be. No more leaving for like 20 days. Because I think I figured out this whole scheduling thing. I hope I have. At least I figured out how my body works. And that's always a good thing. So, I'm going to be here tomorrow.